So yes, my children, come to Camelot. What is it? What? Camelot, like, is it like a landmass? Another world? Why are there dead people? Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Aaron, and Blackwolf. Now, before we come into this breakdown / discussion on what Camelot even is at this point, please do me a favor, leave your own thoughts on what Camelot is in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below. You can support for as low as $1 a month. Get the exclusive videos, early content, and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? I'm here, and what Camelot B do? Like, legitimately, I was just rereading the recent chapters, and like Arthur was explaining it, and I get it. It's an everlasting kingdom where all are happy and will feel no pain and suffering. You know, all the good stuff, all the good, nice buzzwords that get humans feeling all nice and good. But like, according to Gnostians, if you remember all the way back to when we were looking at the map with Sin, according to Gnostians and Sin, including meaning Lancelot, Camelot is still a destroyed landmass. Like, it was a kingdom that used to exist in the south. It now no longer exists there. So it's obviously not just a regular kingdom. Like, it's not some place where you can feasibly walk to. Or I'm assuming, you know, people would have walked to it at this point. But at the same time, does that make it like one world, two world, red world, blue world? Like, when Jericho mentions Camelot, she talks about it being her own little world where she was promised a grown-up version of Lancelot. Which, as many questions as that raises, put it to the side for now. We're just focusing on the context. Her own little world. So, like, is that Camelot? Would she be coexisting with every other human? It's just that she happens to have her own fake human fairy thing? Or is it her own unique world? Because I'm assuming, I mean, I guess you can make it, because another question that comes up is when Arthur shows them Camelot, it all seems to be one place. Like, in comparison to Jericho, who just had this beautiful vision of herself being... I'm sorry, I still can't get over the Jericho thing. I know. It's been weeks already. I know, I just need to get over it. But still, Jericho was alone in her world. Meanwhile, all the humans, when they were under King's authority, they all saw one unified place that had all their loved ones. That's the only difference. So is it one unified world, or is it a multitude of worlds? And on top of that, all those times we saw Arthur with Merlin or with Ironside, was that also Camelot? That time we saw Arthur and Merlin just standing in the sky, and there was like an upside down castle. Was that also Camelot? Like, what is Camelot at this point? It's not entirely too impossible that it's just a separate realm. Like, don't get me wrong, I 100% believe that's possible, because, you know, look at the supreme deity, the demon king, Tarmiel, Sariel, likely Ludishel and Mael. Like, these beings are not, it's not new to make different little spaces. Like, time spaces, that's a bit different. No one that we know of has made a time space yet. So not gonna do me good. But regardless of that, if that is the case, how many worlds could Arthur make? And how many, like, this is there are three different ways to take it. One, Camelot is a landmass that just happens to have a dimensional barrier over it. Obviously, if you can use beings like Melascula, you can probably use their abilities, and one of Melascula's things was putting a spatial barrier up over Camelot so no one could perceive it. And by having Camelot seemingly surrounded by a spatial barrier, bada bing, bada boom, it's very unlikely that it's going to be attacked again, because no one's going to be able to perceive it. Good. Number two, it's a unified world, aka it's just a really, 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 really big space that can house all of humanity. The only reason I feel a little bit off about this is because Arthur specifically talks about in the recent chapters returning the world to the humans. But that implies that he would be taking back the real world. But if that's the case, I don't know, it just seems weird. So maybe if he is talking about taking back the real world, maybe he has this separate pocket dimension for now? Because I don't think he exists in the main realm. Mainly because it'd be impossible to not sense him. Like, if he was still on Britannia, everyone and their mother would be constantly sensing him. Like, Lance would have mentioned it at this point. Percy probably would have mentioned it at this point. Heck, I know for a fact Tristan and or Melly would have mentioned it at this point. Like, if he was just sitting around, even if suppressed, like, you gotta remember, Mont Spee, of all people, not to talk of these higher level demons and monsters and chaotic beings, they were able to sense base beginning of series Meliodas from miles upon miles away. I don't think I need to explain to you the quantitative gap between base beginning of series Meliodas and literally the creator of the verse. Like, I think the raw gap in power here is quite clear. So I want to assume it's not on the main planet. But if Arthur's talking about taking back the main planet, does that mean he has a separate pocket dimension for now? And okay, so sorry, I kind of got sidetracked. But first option, it's on land. It is in the main world. It's just covered by a dimensional barrier or some altered sort of space. We know Arthur can sort of just make alternate spaces when he feels like it. Remember how he ate Cath. Number 2, it's a separate pocket dimension, at least for now. Hypothetically, this is entirely possible too. Once again, we've seen lesser beings than Chaos make pocket dimensions of extreme size. Look at Tarmiel's Oceans, look at the Demon King and Supreme Deities realms. Obviously, it's entirely possible for them to just, like, poop out a realm. Even Cath, we saw him make a little pocket dimension when we wanted to eat Arthur. He just casually went, ooh, yummy, and then bada bing, bada boom. And that was a fraction of Chaos's power. So it wouldn't be shocked with the whole shebang, Arthur could make a super, ooper, juper duper realm with everything everyone wants. Number 3, multi-world theory. And that's the idea that everyone gets their own custom world. Because I'm going to assume if this is the perfect kingdom, even if you have your loved ones back, or a fake version of your loved one, in the case of Jericho, so there are some things you wouldn't want to see. Like, imagine, let's just throw some random names on it. Bobby Jim. Bobby Jim lost his brother. That's great that Camelot can bring it back. Now, it's not great that he lost his brother, but it's great that Camelot can bring it back for him. But Bobby Jim hates Mary Sue. And Mary Sue also does not like Bobby Jim and lost her sister. So, in that case, they would not have a perfect, everlasting, happy kingdom if Bobby Jim and Mary Sue were to live in the same kingdom, to live in the same world. So, that leads me to believe that Arthur would create custom worlds for everybody, and that he was just being a little bit lazy with King Dominion just to show them all at once. And this kind of fits with the idea that Jericho said she'd get her own world, with her own Lancelot. With that being the case, I'm not sure if that makes Arthur more impressive or less impressive. Now, it wouldn't necessarily make him more impressive. It really depends on how fast he did it. Like, if these are really all fully functioning autonomous areas, like, impressive. So those are the three real main ideas I got. We got single world theory. No, we got old world theory where it's all in the land mass. We got new world theory where it's in a separate dimension, and we have multi-world theory where it's multiple separate little dimensions. Either way, I don't think we're going to get an answer anytime soon on our, like, because if we were, we would have to be ending up in Camelot pretty soon, and I don't think that's going to happen. And that's what makes me feel so weird about it. Like, I want to know more, because the functions behind it make it either more terrifying or less terrifying. Like, it's already kind of weird that Arthur just knows the dead people. Like, oh yeah, bada bing, bada boom, I instinctively know who you've lost, even if you were not born yet. Like, or you have literally no recollection. Like, children who are born at the cusp of the Great Holy War, at like 17 years ago, they're not going to remember anybody that they lost. But Arthur had them. We saw kids that were like age 6, no more than that, having people that they lost that they somehow want to have back, even though they never interacted with them before. So I don't know, it's very, very strange. Camelot seems to be this nebulous idea more so than an actual place, and then that works because that's what Chaos is pretty much based on, nebulous ideas given form through thought. But I don't know, it leaves Camelot as this very interesting location a lot more interesting a location than I thought it was going to be before we started getting all this extra context for it. And now, with all this extra context, I'm actually kind of excited for when our heroes actually get to go there. I'm assuming we're going to end up in Camelot one way or another, whether it be for the fight back against Arthur, or maybe Arthur even just kidnapping them. So, I don't know. I'm very, very intrigued. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. And support for as low as $1 a month. You get exclusive videos, early content, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.